Welcome to Completely Booked.
I'm Jenna Hassel.
And I'm Hurley Winkler. You are listening to the official podcast of the Jacksonville Public Library. Cue the bonus song, Brian.
In case you were wondering, that is indeed Hurley and I saying bonus a bunch of different ways.
Yes, and thanks to our friend AutoTune, we sound great.
So today we are talking about Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil! Yes! Which, if you don't know, you've probably been living under a rock because Cirque du Soleil is a huge, growing theater performance that involves all kinds of circus arts.
Yes.
And Jenna got to talk to one of the aerialists and circus artists for Cirque du Soleil. Her name is Sante. And their publicist, Maxwell. I was totally jealous that I was out and could not talk to them.
I know.
But first of all, big thanks to Chris Bovin for filling in for me as co-host. It was his podcast debut, and he did a great job.
Yeah, he nailed it for sure.
Yes. Great questions.
And Chris is our boss also.
Yes.
So that was super fun. We missed Hurley big time, but it was really cool. We actually took our podcast equipment on the road for the first time. We were at the Lexington Hotel, and it was really funny to be in the lobby because there was like people from the show, the artists walking around in their costumes. You know, I don't know how many people work on this single show, but there was tons of them just like hanging around the lobby. It was pretty fun.
Gosh, that sounds so cool. And you guys had a great conversation. I especially loved hearing Sante talk about what it's like to do aerial acrobatics on a chandelier. Holy mackerel. I'm terrified of heights. Are you?
Yes, indeed.
There's no way. There is no way I could do that.
And she's not attached.
What?
I know. I was asking her, I was like, oh, so you're like, you know, on like a harness. And she's like, oh no, I'm just holding on. And I was like, that seems dangerous.
That is insane.
Yeah. So she's pretty fearless. And
she's living on the edge.
Yeah.
For sure.
Pretty awesome.
Yes. So Cirque du Soleil was kind enough to give the library tickets as summer learning prizes this summer, so we thank them for that. And they have a special deal going on for our library customers. If you use the code CORTEO15, that's CORTEO 15 at checkout on Ticketmaster, CirqueDuSoleil.com, or at the box office at the Veterans Memorial Arena, you can get 15% off of tickets, and that show is running from August 1st, which is today, if you're listening when this podcast drops, and that's today through August 5th, which is Sunday. They're doing 7 shows here in Jacksonville, so make sure you hop online or call the box office, use the code CORTEO15 to get that 15% off tickets.
Here's Sante and Maxwell from Cirque du Soleil. Maxwell and Sante, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us on Completely Booked. This is so cool. I have Chris Bovin with me today, not my usual co-host.
No,
but
not usually.
Yes, but this is another first. So Chris's first time on the podcast and our first time taking it outside the library. So we are live from the Lexington Hotel.
It's a beautiful place, a beautiful remote location.
Yeah, and you guys just got here yesterday?
Yes, it's true.
Oh, man, long day. So thank you again for taking some time.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Maxwell is the publicist for Cirque du Soleil for just this show.
For just the show, yes.
Okay.
Each show we have a different publicist.
Right. And Sante, you are a performer and circus artist.
Yes.
Is what you call yourself. Okay, so tell me a little bit about being a circus artist and what all you do.
So in the show, I'm an aerialist. I do aerial work on the chandeliers. It's the opening act. And then I also do a hula hoop solo act with other characters around me and stuff on a bed with a platform. And that hula hoop act is mixed with a bit of contortion and handstands and stuff like that. And then everyone in the show has little character work, and I play some music. And I'm not a musician. We all sing.
Okay.
All kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clap. We do. Like all kinds of little things like that. But those are my 2 main things that I'm hired for is an aerialist, and also I do the hula hoops.
Okay. And is this your first show with Cirque du Soleil?
Yes, this is my first show with Cirque du Soleil. But I've been with many other shows with different companies. I did a circus school, college for 4 years, and after that I went off and started working. The first job I had was on a cruise ship. I worked for Celebrity Cruises and many other, and then I went to Europe and worked at many dinner shows and variety shows, did corporate events in China and Brazil and all different kinds, South Africa, all different kinds of shows. So this is definitely the biggest production I've been in by far.
Okay. Yeah. What's it like being with Cirque du Soleil? I feel like it's kind of a high honor to be in Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely to be able to have a solo is really cool. And I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm one of the first Canadians to do hula hoops in Cirque du Soleil in a show. That's like a touring show, not a corporate event or something. So that's pretty cool.
And that's a big deal because Cirque du Soleil is a Canadian company, correct?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Maxwell, is that true?
Yes, it is true. But besides the fact that we are a Canadian company, Cirque du Soleil, it is a Canadian company, but we have people from all over the world. We have over 4,000 employees in the company from more than 25 different nationalities, and we all together speak more than 50 different languages. So it's a small planet, but yes, Cirque du Soleil first started in 1984 in Montreal, in Canada, when a group of 20 street performers got together and they created a show. Back in that time, we had about 70 people working on that production, and today we are over 4,000 people in over 20 different productions and special projects happening all over the world. So it's quite of a big family.
Oh, wow.
So, Maxwell, are you also from Canada?
No, I'm from Brazil.
You're from Brazil?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where in Brazil?
I'm from Brasilia.
Okay.
Yes, right in the middle of the country. I first started in the company when I was working as a local because they came to my city and I was working as an usher. And I was like, whoa, you can really work for Cirque du Soleil, because I saw a documentary of Cirque du Soleil years ago and I really wanted to work for that company, because I was telling you guys just before we started that I love everything related to behind the scenes, backstage, and this type of things. And when I knew that you were able, because I was too young, and I realized you were able to do some things in the company and backstage as well, I was like, oh, that's true. There are so many people, and we don't know. There are so many people involved in a project like this. Here you're going to see 51 performers on stage, but we do have 60 people working on backstage. And we never imagined that we have more than the amount of the performance we have on stage working on backstage to make a show like this happen. And this is how it started. And since then, I've been with quite a few shows and enjoying so far.
And Sante, where are you from in Canada?
I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh, okay,
so
Vancouver.
the West Coast. But when I was 18, I moved to Montreal because there's a very known circus school there. It's across the street from the headquarters of Cirque du Soleil, and I studied there for 4 years. I lived in Montreal, and then I started working all around the world, and then I moved to Europe because most of my work was in Europe. So I lived in Germany for 4 years as well. So 4 years in Montreal, 4 years in Germany, and now I'm here.
What's it like being in circus school? Can you specialize, or you learn everything? And
yes, so you do specialize, and then there's a few things skills that they make everyone learn. Like I had to do juggling for a year. I was not very good. And then everyone has to do handstands. Everyone has to do acrobatics, like basic tumbling, trampoline, and then I specialized. I did 4 years. The first year I specialized in contortion. The second year, then I specialized in hula hoop, minored in contortion. Third year, same thing. Fourth year, I switched out of contortion, minored in aerial hoop, and my major in hula hoops.
That's major in hula hoops. That's not a usual major that we hear.
Yeah. But actually at that circus school, I'm the first to major in hula hoops.
Wow. Was it already a specialization, or did they create it kind of?
No, it was. But for some reason at that particular school, because there's a few schools around the world, they were like, that's a better act as a secondary act. I don't know why. And I told them because I used to dance for 10 years, and I was also a rhythmic gymnast. So I've played with hoops before. And so I said, with that mix, I think I could make something cool. And then at first they're like, we never had anyone. We don't know. And then they're like, oh, maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah, and here you are with the solo with Cirque du Soleil. So
yeah,
definitely made it work. That's so cool. So how long have you been doing? Did you do this as a kid? Is that kind of what kind of made you want to go to circus school?
So my parents, I grew up in entertainment. My whole family is in entertainment. My parents, my dad owned a dance school growing up, so I was like, I had no choice. But then I fell in love with it, being on stage and stuff. And my parents run dance competitions, and so I was also like thrown on stage. And then I did rhythmic gymnastics. Well, because in dance, I don't know if you know, they usually have like acrobatic classes as well. And then they were kind of starting to get boring for me. So then I went and did rhythmic gymnastics because I got to like throw things and also do some acrobatic things. And then after I finished high school, I like applied for a whole bunch of universities, a lot in the US, to be on a dance team and to study French, to become a French teacher. And then I auditioned for circus school too. And then I got in everywhere. I didn't know where to go. And I was like, well, I'm still young and maybe I can't do the circus thing. Like maybe I should like try it out. But in my head, I thought I would just go for a year. And because it was in Montreal and I wanted to study French, I thought, oh, that'll be like a fun little kind of year off, I guess, and then I can get better in French and then go to university. And then I just
loved it and stayed.
Exactly.
Wow. So it's kind of a family business too, growing up with both your parents being in dance.
Yeah. Well, it's still a little bit of a different world, but still, yeah. But
you needed something more challenging. That's what it sounds like.
No, my sister was a professional dancer in Los Angeles, and the story she told me, I was like, I don't know if I want. Very competitive.
Yeah. I can imagine over there for sure.
Yeah.
Maxwell, tell us a little bit about this current show that we have here in Jacksonville starting tomorrow.
Yes, Cortez is one of the most unique Cirque du Soleil shows that we have. Starting with the stage, it is placed right in the middle of the arena. Usually we have people sitting around the stage, only on the 3 walls of the stage, let's put it this way. But on Cortez, there's no walls. People will be sitting on both sides of it. And it was created like this because Daniele Finzi-Pasca, the creator of the show, he wanted to give to the audience the perspective of the actor. So people could feel how does it feel, see and feel how it looks like to be on stage and see the reaction of people when they see something amazing happen on stage. And the storyline is very unique as well. It tells the story of a clown that is dreaming about his own funeral, but in a kind of atmosphere. We're going to see his friends from all over the world and different circuses coming to visit him and show all their amazing skills that they have. When you first start to talk about it, people think, oh, but it's a funeral. Is it a sad show? It is a sad show? Not at all. Actually, it is a celebration of life. When you're watching a movie, someone is about to die. They have flashbacks of everything that happened in their lives. We're going to see that on stage. We're going to see this clown remembering all the greatest moments that he had when he was traveling the world, working for different circuses. When he was a kid and he used to play on his bed, pretend it was a trampoline, like we all did once in our lives. Or we're going to see the loves that he had on his life flying over the stage in big chandeliers. One of them is Sante, is doing an amazing act with these 3 big chandeliers that when you arrive at the arena, you're like, oh, this is a decoration piece of the stage. And then suddenly the show starts and it starts to move and you see these girls going up and you look Sante doing some tricks and some amazing things. And every day I watched Sante and then the girls rehearsing and I see them doing it pretty much every day, and I don't get used to it. Every day I get surprised, and when I see the show every week, I get mesmerized, and I'm pretty sure that people that are not used to see it will have the same feeling.
Is this the first time you've done aerial on a chandelier? And what's that like? Because chandeliers don't seem to be something that would be safe to be flying around on.
Well, they're definitely fake chandeliers. Well, no, actually, no.
They light up.
No. But they do light up, and they're very beautiful.
They look amazing.
Like,
they look
I've seen the
incredible.
real chandeliers, but but you can do acrobatics on them. I actually did work on chandeliers before in a show in Spain. It was just a one-time thing, but it was very little. I never explored a chandelier as much, and they were not as beautiful as these ones. So no, it's really cool. There's lots of things you can put your body through because there's lots of beads and then bars and but it's
4,000 beats. They're actually 4,000
beats.
pieces on the chandeliers.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sometimes they pinch you. No, but it's it's hard also to not get hit by the beads sometimes because I did the aerial apparatus that I worked on before that I have most experience is aerial hoop, which is just a big round hoop. So I don't get stuck as much. But yeah, no, but it's fun to swing in the air on something a little different than what I was doing before.
And are you attached to it?
No.
So you're just up there holding on.
Up there holding on.
Oh my gosh.
But there's so many places you can put your legs in, and so it's good.
And you're
Or
never
grab on.
are you still scared or no?
No.
Never scared
But
of them?
I was. I was not scared of the chandeliers, but before I did any aerial, I was very scared of being in the air. I didn't want to. Then I got used to it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not scared anymore.
Can't imagine being flying around on these things.
No.
Because it looks beautiful, though. It looks incredible. But yeah, thinking about being up there must be, for the first time, when you first think, oh, I'm going to go up there, it must be pretty scary.
Not attached to it.
Yeah, but you don't really. It's funny when sometimes when I just sit on it and then I'm like, oh, we're quite high. But when I'm doing all the acrobatic things, I'm just focusing on what I'm doing, and it doesn't feel high at all. It feels comfortable. It's like I'm just moving.
Being comfortable up there, that's insane. I guess you guys how many stops are on this tour that you guys are doing right now?
Well, Corteo used to be under the big top because in Cirque du Soleil we have 3 different types of shows. The big top ones where we travel with 80 to 90 containers and we set up everything that we need our instructor. Or we have the resident shows like the ones in Vegas where we have build a theater, or we adapt the theater for that show. And we have arena shows like Corteo where we travel with an average of 20 tracks. On Corteo we have 21 traveling with us. We set up everything inside arenas like the one we're going to be playing here in Jacksonville this week. And we usually stay a week in different cities. So we first started last March 2nd, New Orleans with the Corteo Arena format. And we have been traveling since then. We perform for 10 weeks and then we have 2 weeks break. And pretty much until next year we're going to be playing the US and Canada. So I would say that it's quite of a good amount. If we start to count them, you say all the names of the cities, we'll spend all day long here. But it's basically we perform for 10 weeks and 2 weeks off.
Wow. So lots of traveling, lots of time on the road. Do you guys find ways to entertain yourselves? Do you guys have any books that you like to read while you're on the road?
I have a book, a big one. But it's factual book. It's the Encyclopedia of Natural Medicine. I like to read that.
Reading for fun, or are you studying for school?
No, just like for my own knowledge of, this hurts, or I have a cold. What should I do? I don't know. Or with people as well, if they have a problem, I'm like, you should put this oil. I find it very
Is this an
interesting.
actual physical book that you have? Or
Yeah,
is
it's
not
a physical,
not like a digital
heavy
book?
book. I don't know how to. Yeah, it's quite big. It's encyclopedia.
Which is part of her 2 pieces of luggage.
Yeah.
They're only 2 pieces because if you ask where do you live, in 2 pieces of suitcases.
I actually only have one. Like we have the option to have 2, but I only have one big suitcase, and then we have the option to have 2 big suitcases and 2 carry-ons, and I have only 1 big suitcase and 2 carry-ons.
Because you're a contortionist, so you can fit everything into
Exactly.
a smaller spot. That makes sense.
You just travel in one of your suitcases, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
I could and so have 2 big ones full.
Maxwell, do you have any books that you like to read while you're on the road?
I do, but right now I'm trying to learn French, so I'm trying to read magazines, and most of the time I'm reading newspapers online in French, so I'm able to develop more my skills on the language. So I stopped to read the last few months a book, and trying to focus on French content. So I started to read the Little Prince, but I was like, I need to study a little bit more to be able to read that book. And I fully understand, because we all read that book before, so you're familiar with the story, but besides the story, I really want to understand everything and make sure that I'm absorbing something from the book instead of just the story itself that we all know. So yes, in this case, I'm more focused on online content and newspapers to be able to learn.
Will learning French, will that be helpful? Do you think, are you learning it because it'll be helpful for working with this company, or is it just something you wanted to do?
Somehow, right now, we have the official language of Cirque du Soleil. Actually, we have 5 official languages. It's like the UN, because of the amount of people that we have from so many different countries. But in our daily communications, we use English and French most of the time. My colleagues in Montreal, where we have our headquarters, they do all of them. They do speak French, and all their emails usually start in French. So it's nice if we're able to communicate with them in French as well. We do everything in English, but being part of a French-Canadian company, I think that would be important to be able to speak that. And I love languages since I was a kid, and I always wanted to learn French. So that's why I'm focusing on that right now.
Man, I wish you could get one of our library cards here from Jacksonville Public Library, because we have a free service called Transparent Language that you can use to learn a different language for free. And it's like an online, it has like all kinds of like tests and quizzes and like audio things, so you can hear it and say it back. And
wow, I should stop by. And even
cool.
for the tour, because
I love that.
Santa is trying to learn
I'm trying to learn Russian.
Yeah.
There's a really good Russian course. I started to take it. It's very, the thing with, not to try and over promote with the library, but the thing with the services, it's really immersive. So you have, like Jenna was saying, you have, of course, the repeat, the audio, but there's also an app that you can even get that you can take things and look and see written language versus spoken language, and there's a lot of great exercises. And yeah, do you all ever get to visit libraries where you go, or do you ever try to stop at libraries, or do you have home libraries?
I just don't really, to be honest. But I like libraries. No, there was one city in Colorado. I went to the library and I stopped and was looking around and stuff. It was cool. But yeah.
Canada has some amazing libraries. We get a lot of ideas from some of our friends at the libraries in Canada. They're very innovative up there. So next time you're home, you should check out one of your libraries.
Check out Montreal, check out Edmonton is another really neat one. There's a lot of really neat libraries in Canada. And,
cool.
Well, we asked this at the end of all of our interviews for each of you. So, Sante, what did you want to be when you were a kid? When you grew up?
I wanted to be a veterinarian.
And you're still interested in medicine?
Natural medicine. Yeah, not the natural stuff.
Did you have a lot of pets? Did you have pets growing up, or do you have pets now?
No, I
travel
don't
a
have
lot
any
now.
pets
But
now.
what'd you have when you grew up? What kind of pets?
We had guinea pigs, rabbits, hamster, cat, dog.
Yeah, lots of animals.
Fish.
Veterinarian makes sense.
But then I changed my mind many times.
Yeah. Oh, we all did. I still don't know. Maxwell, what about you? What did you want to be when you were a kid, when you grew up?
I knew where I wanted to be, and I wanted to be working for Cirque du Soleil. I had 2 places that I really wanted to work for. It was the United Nations and Cirque du Soleil. I did work for the United Nations years ago. I liked, but I really wanted to work for Cirque more than that, and here I am. So living my dream.
True.
Yes.
What were the shows that you saw when you first? What were some of the first shows that you remember
The first show
seeing?
I saw live was Alegria. That is coming back next year.
That's exciting.
Yes, we are super, super, super excited to have it back. And but it was the first live Cirque show that I saw, but I have seen a few of them before on TV. And also the first thing about Cirque du Soleil that I've seen when I was a child, it was the documentary of Varikai, which was Fire Within. It's a documentary that tells the story of the whole process of creation of a big top show. And it's really interesting because I worked on that show as a local years ago under the Big Top. Last year I was working as a publicist when the show closed. So for me, be back in the show was super meaningful to be on a show that I saw the creation process on TV and be there years later. And the same with Corteo. So I've been in 4 different shows right now.
That's very awesome. So thank you guys so much. I know today's your day off, but starting the show tomorrow, and you guys will be here until August 5th, right?
Yes, we're starting tomorrow. Right now we have all technicians at the arena setting up our stage, and by the end of the day, everything will be ready. Tomorrow we have our opening night here in Jacksonville, and then we'll be here for 7 performances only until Sunday.
Wow. And how can our friends get tickets to come see you?
CirqueDuSoleil.com or Ticketmaster.com, or even at the arena, at the box office, they can stop by there and pick up a ticket as well.
And if they use code Corteo15, they can get a discount. That's for all library customers. And we really appreciate you guys extending that. We also really appreciate you extending free tickets to give away, that we gave away a bunch of free tickets to kids that read in our summer learning. Thank you so much for giving those. That was really wonderful.
That's great. We're looking forward to see all of you guys.
Yeah, well, good luck. Good luck up there on the chandelier.
Thank you very much.
Break a leg.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming on Completely Booked. Good luck this week.
Thank you very much.
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Thank you so much for listening to this special bonus episode of Completely Booked.
Yes, everyone go out and check out Cirque du Soleil this week at the Veterans Memorial Arena. I will be there tonight, so say hey to me if you see me.
Definitely. And make sure you leave us a review.
5 stars.
Yes, 5 stars preferably, not required. Learn more about our podcast at jackspubliclibrary.org/podcast, where you can read about everything we do and maybe even see some photos from our talk with Cirque du Soleil.
Yes, always photos.
This podcast was produced by Brian Thomas, aka BT, aka Producer Brian. Goodbye.